When you think of poetry, some of the greats might come to mind, maybe Shakespeare, Emily Dickinson, Walt Whitman, and how about Taylor Swift?
Oh, wow, the pop sensation broke records on her global tour. She also inspired an English course at Holy Cross, comparing lyrics from some of today's biggest songwriters with poetry that is hundreds of years old.
That's one of the questions that was in the course description was, why do so many people say that they dislike poetry but enjoy music so much? And I sort of looked at myself and I was like, I feel like I might be one of those people.
That's what drew students to the inaugural Tortured Poets Department course at Holy Cross. The English class sharing the title with Taylor Swift's latest release.
Straight from the Tortured Poets Department.
A lot of times my students will say, I don't get poetry.
Poetry's always kind of been actually like one of my least favorite mediums of writing.
So to make poetry more approachable, Holy Cross professor Julie Camarda turned to some of the best lyrical artists of the 20th century.
Across the universe.
Showing students that modern pop stars have a lot in common with the classic romantic poets.
I mean, this poem, the photograph, is about jealousy and about imagining contact or control over a woman, even though she's not there. So he's burning the photograph.
Sound familiar? But the class didn't just feature Taylor's prose.
So you can have a poem by Wordsworth called like Tintern Abbey on Memory alongside Peter Gabriel's Salisbury Hill.
Climbing up on Salisbury Hill.
Or Joni Mitchell's Both Sides Now.
From both sides now.
But there are all kinds of topics that I had to leave out. And that's where the students were contributing themselves.
By the end of the semester, students were tasked with a project, a multimedia presentation of texts and songs they'd recommend adding to the syllabus.
It's a matter of taste, as we discussed in the class. It became a bit of a class joke that I was not a Swiftie and that about 2/3 of the class were. I am always grateful to Taylor Swift for titling her most recent album The Tortured Poets Department, because it proved a great opportunity to talk about all of those issues.
How did it end? Well, Professor Camarda isn't offering the class this semester, but she tells us that she is hoping to bring it back in the future. And I think it's really interesting that she's not a Swiftie.
Yeah.
So she wasn't motivated by that, but she did find a way to make poetry so much more relevant to people who appreciate pop music.
And a lot of songs really are like poems.
Beautiful,
Like
yes.
Who Let the Dogs Out, for instance.
Exactly, we talk about that all the time.
One of my favorite poems.